Looks like we have a quorum. All right, we'll get this committee meeting started. This is the September 29th meeting of the ISWM Building Committee. I'll do a quick attendance, do a roll call vote. Tom?
Yep.
Greg?
Yes.
Catherine? I don't see Catherine out. Catherine, you out there? Peter? Ken?
Yep, I'm here.
Nolan?
Yes.
And I am here. So there was an error on the agenda. We've already approved the 7:15, the 7:30, and the 8:12 minutes. That was a miscommunication between myself and Kathleen. Anybody have any comments? So the 9:16 minutes are the only ones that we need to review and approve. Does anybody have any comments on those?
Nope.
I think we had one typo there under number 3, the second line, new OPM. Other than that, I didn't have any comments on it. I get a motion to approve the minutes of 9:16.
So moved.
That's Ken move. You got a second?
Second, Greg.
Greg second. Greg?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Nolan?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, so we've got seven total applicants for our new OPM. If you guys like, I will, for the purposes of just reviewing, I'll go down through them all. We've got PMA Consultants. We've got Vertex. Pomeroy Associates. ACG, which is Architectural Consulting Group. We've got P3 Project Planning Professionals. CHA, and Collier's Project Leaders. Those are all the 7. The two of these we saw before. We saw Collier's, and then we saw P3 Project Planning Professionals. So we've got 5 new ones. Does anybody want to feel free to discuss or bring up your thoughts on any one of those individuals or how they would like to proceed with reviewing these? Tom, you have any thoughts on any of these? Since you're right in front of me?
Yeah, I guess I'll break the ice, okay? I noticed that one of them, I'm not sure how to say this, was the OPM for the police station in town. And I think that's a problem. I think we should probably talk about that, although I'm not sure the discussion will go very far.
I agree. For me, that's obviously not a non-starter right there. So I think we all kind of probably agree on that, correct? Hearing from everybody?
Yes.
All right. So that.
Maybe something, yep, exactly what I was going to bring up.
Okay. So that was CHA. Greg, what are your thoughts on some of these, the remaining 6?
Well, Mike, I don't know what everybody else feels if we want to interview the 3 that are left. Obviously, I'm familiar with, and I know the town's familiar with Pomeroy. Vertex I'm familiar with. They're a great firm. Never worked with that particular group, but they're a large firm like Collier's. They have a lot of divisions, just not OPM. And then the architectural consulting group seemed to be a little, not as polished of a proposal. A lot of them, all of them seem to have mostly schools, fire stations, and police stations. Not too much in our arena, but again, I don't think that's an issue. Those are my thoughts.
Thanks. Ken, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I looked at all the proposals. I did think that Pomeroy's experience had mostly been police stations. I wasn't sure about this, but PMA seemed to be the only strictly OPM firm. I guess most of these guys are contractors as well. And I noticed that Vertex did the Falmouth Police Station. Is that an issue at all? I don't know why it would be, but so frankly, I was pretty. I can't say I came out of my review of all these proposals with any clear idea. P3 did the Falmouth Senior Center. It makes it pretty easy to check references if we want to, but none of them jumped out. I guess I have an overall bias for against a really huge firm, just because while that gives us a lot of resources, we end up as a sort of small cog in a larger machine, but again, it cuts both ways, because if we use one of the firms that's much smaller, then we're dependent on just a few people. It's harder for substitutes to be brought in if it's necessary, but that seems like an unlikely possibility.
Right. Nolan, what are your thoughts?
I think you get some solid candidates there. I like Collier's in the first round, B3 as well. Looking through the proposals, Pomeroy's look pretty solid. And I don't think there's any shortage of solid candidates here to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, to me, with the exception of CHA, for obvious reasons. Well, actually, let me ask you first, Ken, what was up at the Falmouth police station? Was there a reason you brought that up that I don't know about?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just that it was a relatively local project, and easy to find out what Falmouth thought of them. That's all.
Right. Yeah, I think that kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think whoever we're looking at, we're checking references anyway, so.
Yeah.
I mean, is the thought process to try to pick one, or do you think we want to interview a couple, interview one, and we don't like it, move on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. I mean, in the interest of time, maybe we do one at a time. I thought they all kind of checked the box, right? I felt, very much like last time. It's hard to discern, real quality here, just by looking at these packages. Like I said, they all sort of check the box. Pomeroy, I've had some experience with him now, a little bit at the new fire station, and he's always sort of impressed me, his sort of attentiveness. I know, it's a project that's kind of right across the street. It'd be convenient. I've never heard a bad thing about him, and interestingly enough, he was the only one who had any solid waste experience. I didn't notice anybody else who did a transfer station, and he listed, I believe, 2 transfer stations that he was involved in. And I couldn't quite tell if they were in the recent past or a little further back. But I think we know what P3 is. We interviewed them. We know Collier's. We interviewed them. I think my top 2 were Vertex and Pomeroy. The other 2, I agree with Greg. ACG, was a decent package. Like I said, checked the box, and PMA looked fine, but Vertex and Pomeroy were the ones that sort of stood out, and Pomeroy specifically. So, that being said, I mean, let's talk a little bit about where we think we should go here with, does anybody think we should do more than one, or should we do two or three? What are your thoughts on that? What do you think, Tom?
I think three. I've got stars beside Pomeroy and P3, and somebody else I'd lost track here was impressed with Vertex. So I'm leaning towards those three to interview, I would say, right now.
Greg, what are your thoughts?
I was kind of young camp, Pomeroy and Vertex. And again, I was thinking if we took, looked at all six, throw out CHA, we interviewed P3 already and Collier's. So, we're looking at either 2 or 3 interviews. That's my opinion. And again, I think, obviously we know we can do 3 in a day, but, doing 2, and if we like one of those 2, trying to make a decision instead of pushing it to a 3rd interview.
Right. Yeah, 3 in a day is that's a long
Yeah, I
meeting.
mean, I think if we pick 2, not to throw out Collier's or P3, if it, obviously if people feel like we should have them come back for a refresh, we could, but, they were both on the short list.
Right. Yeah, they were in the top 3 to begin with.
I mean, seems like everybody is impressed enough with 2 of them that we could probably just pick 2 to interview. Collier's is huge, and I know we talked to them the first time around. I have a small bias because they're the one firm that negotiated their indemnity language in this package, which, again, to me, it's just a sign of their size. They've got a legal department that's changing the indemnity language in the RFQ. I don't know. Just seems we don't really need to go that route, especially if you guys like Vertex and Pomeroy.
Yeah, I do remember that from their package. I didn't specifically look at it, but I did notice that in the first go around. I remember that now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Nolan?
I would tend to agree. The committees stayed the same. Stick with the Collier and P3 interviews. We could do a refresh if needed, and maybe interview Pomeroy and Vertex if the committee likes both of those new options.
All right. I think I'm kind of hearing a consensus here a little bit. 2 interviews, Pomeroy and Vertex. Does anybody want to make a motion to interview those 2 candidates as the top 2?
I'll make the motion that we interview Vertex and Pomeroy Associates.
All right. A second? I guess I'll second that. Greg?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Nolan?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And we don't see Peter or Catherine. Peter or Catherine, you guys aren't out there yet, are you? Okay. All right. Let's talk about a time and a date. Friday work for anybody? I know we talked about the 2nd or the 3rd. I'm not going to be able to do Thursday unless we did like a morning thing. How about Friday?
I can't do Friday. I'm on the road all day.
Okay. What if we did Monday at 3:30 next week? Just exactly a week from. We'll stay that Monday at 3:30 schedule.
That's the 6th?
That would be the 6th.
It works for me.
Yeah, unfortunately that wouldn't work for me. I'm going to an event for Keating that time.
All right.
But wait a minute, let's see what time that's. Sorry, I'm not on the East Coast right now, so I'm getting confused about time. Yeah, it's at 5:30 on Monday.
7th?
What about if we go with Tuesday, since that's our regular meeting day?
Yeah. How does it, Tom, does that work for you?
That's fine with me.
Greg?
Yes.
Nolan?
Next Tuesday is gonna be tough. I gotta check my schedule. I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize, between night school and sports right now.
Okay. So is that a maybe? Should we try to schedule it and then just hold that tentative time? And because I got to get out to Peter and Catherine as well.
Yeah, a week from tomorrow, I can, why don't we count on that? I can do that.
Okay. Okay. So.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if it works for everybody else to do it Monday, I'll participate until I have to leave.
Okay.
You know, it's nearby. It's not till 5:30, so Monday or Tuesday is okay. I'll make them work.
Okay, so it sounds like, we could go maybe either way and lose one committee member either day. So let me reach out to Peter and Catherine, and like tomorrow I'll reach out to them, and we'll pick one of those days and we'll sort it out. So, but for now we'll just say this, the 7th at 3:30, and then we'll pin it down tomorrow when I talk to them. How do we want, so let me pull up some of the questions that we talked about. Where'd they go? Of course, now they're gone.
Kind of was thinking a little bit about that, Asa, and,
Yep.
given that we already kind of had some experience with the OPM and, what we liked and didn't like, I guess, I'm wondering if maybe, instead of going through all those same questions, because I'm not sure how effective they really were in the long run. Do we sort of focus on the areas that we felt like, it was lacking, and see what type of response we get, or, let them obviously we'll let them do their presentation, but sort of focus on some of those areas that we felt we weren't getting.
If we're gonna use Collier's and P3's initial interviews, should we use the same questions though?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was kind of thinking maybe, because we gave them a list of bullet points up front, like as an outline. I wonder if we just generate that same list of bullet points, and then I agree with you. I think the questions afterwards were like kind of bulky and not really. It wasn't. I don't know. It was a little weird to me. But we had sent them those bullet points, which I think generated a nice, sort of consistent presentation from each applicant, to Nolan's point. And then I think let's just sort of keep it organic. We'll just do like a Q&A afterwards, like a 10 or 15 minute Q&A, and just sort of organically let the questions, because you're going to have different questions for different applicants.
Yeah,
Right?
I guess it was those the questions we did after when we divvied it up.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
I don't know, personally, I didn't get much out of that.
Yep, agreed. All right, so we'll stick with the same bullet points that we gave the original applicants, and we'll go from there, and we'll hold it for right now, October 7th, with potential for October 6th, and I'll pin that down, tomorrow in the next 24 hours, and because we'll notify them as quickly as possible.
That's assuming we can get them, right?
Yeah, right. All right, that's good. That was productive. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? I mean, I think beyond that, we don't really have a whole lot. I will just give you one quick update that we are meeting with Mass Highway on October 6th, which is good, at 11 a.m. So I will I'll get back to the committee on that, and hopefully that's a good productive meeting. So other than that, I don't really have much. Anybody else? Tom?
No, I'm fine.
Greg?
I'm good.
Ken?
All set.
Nolan?
I'm good.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
It sounded like Greg and Nolan. Greg?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Nolan?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you, guys. I'll be in touch tomorrow. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
See ya.